Hey stars, how you doing? I wanted to take a few moments and let's talk about the return of Christ consciousness. We've heard it being said many times before, but I feel like not a lot of us actually understand it, right? So let's turn to the Bible because you know how I feel about my Bible, right? So in Matthew 24:42 through 51, and I'm going to paraphrase a lot of what I'm about to say, okay, guys? I just want you to understand that if you really want the story, you're going to have to pick up the Bible and you're going to have to read it yourself because you about to get a Medea breakdown, okay? I just got to let that be known right now before you're like, that is not how that story went. Okay, so basically, it says to be ready at any moment. Because if you're not, you'll miss it. Okay, so if we aren't looking out for it and we aren't living a, for lack of a better term, a righteous life, then we're going to suffer just the same as the people who don't know anything about, who don't have a connection. Okay, also, Matthew 28 and 20, Jesus says that he will be with us until the end of the age. Now, when it comes to this word, okay, first off, it wasn't actually age, it was eon. Anyways, this actually gives us a time frame, believe it or not. I'm not here, before I go into the time frame, I am not here to debate if Jesus was a real person. I don't really care. Don't really care if he was Horus or not. Honestly, I will say that it was the way of thinking, right? No matter what, it was a way of thinking that spread, if he was real or not. And the mission that Jesus had that so many seem to kind of forget, especially those who are hardcore on his pants tail, seem to forget, is that his mission was truly one of love, unity, understanding, and most importantly, it was about the connection to the divine within yourself. But for some reason, we missed all of that. I digress. I go back to the whole word, the word world, right? Or I'm sorry, the word age, right? So this lasts from 2,150 years to 2,160 years. Wait, y'all. Yeah, y'all catching what I'm picking it up? Okay. So if we turn to astrology, right? Ram, Aries energy starts everything. Mind you, this is where the paraphrasing is gonna come in super hard, y'all. Okay? So if we think about the ram, where do we get the first ram in the Bible? We get that from Abraham. Might I mention that Abraham is the only person who is actually mentioned in every monotheologic religion. Abraham is mentioned. Gotta throw that out there because it has weight to it when you really sit down with it. So, mind you, so basically, sorry, y'all, I got a little lost. Basically, he's like, God's like, hey, yo, Abram, I'm gonna need you to give me his son. I'm gonna need his whole soul for my own pleasure. I'm gonna need his soul so your soul can be right. And Abram's like, okay, my Lord, I'm gonna send you my baby soul. So they walk up this hill and he is this close to snatching his baby soul out of his body. And then all of a sudden a ram comes out of the bush and he's like, oh, hallelujah. Chorus starts playing. Y'all, Isaac didn't even know. Sarah didn't know. She waited 90 years for a baby, almost 100 years for a baby, and she didn't even know she almost lost her baby in like 2 seconds if it had not been for a ram. Okay? So, but the ram brings us back to Aries, right? So like Aries energy is like, yes, it's the starter, right? So if we move forward out of Aries and we start thinking about Moses, right? So when we go into Moses, basically Pharaoh was like, we got to do something about this population control, but we're just gonna get rid of all the little boys. Moses' mama was like, not my nah, baby. So she threw him in the river. Whoosh. And where did he end up? Right in Pharaoh's palace. Ain't that a bag of beans about nothing? Exactly what he didn't want. So the irony in this, right? It's so high, it's so crazy. He grows up, finds out who he is, and he's like, yo, let my people free. Let me go. Let my people live. Let us be free. Pharaoh's like, no, bro. And then he's like, okay, well, you know what? So we're going to throw in some 10 deadly plagues and see what happens. By the way, totally I'm going to make a video about this, but it is actually scientifically possible that the 10 plagues really did hit Egypt, y'all. It's yes. So anyways, he sets the people free. They cross the Red River, or the Red Sea, right? So, and then Moses is like, stay here, y'all. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go create these laws for everybody to obey. He comes down and they up there worshiping a golden bull. And he's just like, but this marks the age of Taurus, or at least the ending of the age of Taurus. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I started thinking back. And this was where I got confused. I got so confused because there's no logical. Okay, so here's basically what it was. This was my thought process after I got to this point. Holy shit. Is the Bible even chronological? Because there's no way you can go from Aries to Taurus unless at some point we switched rotation, which is very possible. But then I had to think about it. Like, Bible may not be in chronological order. Let's just throw that out there. Number two, the Bible may actually, we might have switched direction. Honestly. Oh, that was the other explanation. Sorry, y'all. The other explanation is basically that we went through a whole era in between time, bringing us to the age of Pisces. So let's talk about the age of Pisces, because you're like, lady, Bible, let's get into the New Testament, right? Because this is my favorite. Okay, so we got Jesus. He's walking around, he's bringing in new visions. He's like, yes, people, yes. Let's just be all love, light, positivity. He's out here being the original light worker out here, okay, y'all? And we're in the age of Pisces, which is ruled by your feet. Jesus had his feet washed. Let's not even talk about them 2 fishes, 5 loaves of bread, and a multitude of people that got fed, which that is a whole nother story and breakdown, which I'll get to, y'all. I'll get to it. I'll get to all the big ones in the Bible. Don't trip, potato chip. Okay, anyways. So here's the thing, though, guys. What we need to understand is about this word age. Let's go back to it, right? Because this is about the return of the Christ consciousness. I gotta get serious for just a second, right? So, that being said, did you guys know that last year, according to the Ethiopian ancient calendar, which was the same as the Mayans calendar, because they were all one people at once, we'll get into that later, but they were all one people at once. According to them, last year was 2012. Isn't it kind of funny that the day that they said that the world would end, we had the Great Conjunction, then bringing us into the age of Aquarius. Now, I want you guys to stop and think about the last 3 years of your life and the people who have been around you. I want you to stop and really think about what type of changes people in your lives have truly made, because there have been those who have actually been embracing the energy and have been changing. They've been connecting to the divine within, and they've truly been making changes within themselves, and it's starting to show in the world now because they've been working on it for almost 3 years now. But on the flip side, you have those who haven't touched this energy. And unfortunately, those who haven't touched this energy, there is a separation, y'all. There really is. And it's starting to get worse. I'm just going to throw that out there. So honestly, but many people have been connecting to their guides, their deities, their angels, everybody, only making the connections that really matter in their life and truly seeking the truth for themselves, right? Now, if we go back, right, on Jesus's mission while he was living, we see that honestly, this is most of what he was talking about. Was each of us connecting to the divine within? Yes, for some, this may be a trend. And honestly, I have to say, for those who that this is a trend, those who decided that they were going to curse the moon last year, y'all okay? Y'all okay? Miss Luna come back and smack you in the ass? Did that happen? Because I wasn't with that trend. However, people need to understand that spirituality is a way of life. This is truly not something that you can just dip your toe into and decide that it's not for you. Spirituality is a way of life. It's about a connection. Yes, you go about your everyday life, but it's about that connection and truly getting to the state of enlightenment. And honestly, I don't understand or don't see why, if you get to this state of enlightenment, you would then turn around, right? Because true enlightenment, a true state of enlightenment, is something completely different. This, honestly, once we start to reach this as a collective, we are going to set a baseline. When I say a baseline, this will raise our consciousness. If everybody truly realizes Jesus is back, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me say that again. Jesus is back. He here. Stop waiting. Get right now. Get right, church. Let's go home. For all you Christians, for all you non-Christians, connect with somebody. You need to make this connection, guys, because honestly, our children are the ones who are going to pay for it, because our the kids that are being born right now are so advanced, and I keep on saying this, but they are so advanced, it is insane. And if we don't get it right now, then it'll be harder for our children, because where we are right now, all of us who are learning our gifts, all of us who are tapping in, by the time they hit puberty, where we are now, they're going to be looking at us toe to toe. If we don't get it right now, when they need help, we can't help them. They need it. Because they're the ones who have to carry on this legacy. They're the ones who have to carry on this world. Let's leave a spiritually right place for our children. We may not be able to control things like the economy, things like, big whatever, those big people that seem so big. We can't control them, but we can control the divine within ourselves. This is the story of Daniel being in the lion's den. This is the story of Jesus actually being in the tomb. Like, he got killed. Because he was about something. Now is a time to stand for something, or you're gonna fall for anything. And I don't want any of my stars to fall for something, because I love you guys. I may not know all of you. I may not have a personal connection with all of you, but you guys are my stars. Everyone who is in my tribe, I pray for you guys, whether I know it or not. I ask that your manifestations come in. I truly 100% care. So please, let's get this right. Let's connect to the divine within ourselves, guys. Alrighty, guys. Have a great day. Bye.